Tootsies.
What's up? Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another roller in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another roller in the night.
Yes.
Well, whoa, what's up?
Thank you for having me.
What?
Sweet.
What?
Cool.
You can't come on our podcast and out-sing us,
Yeah.
Stephanie Powers.
Oh,
Yeah, she can.
But I do what I can. How good's this?
How good is it to have Stephanie Powers on the How Good's This podcast? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Greetings from my motorhome,
Yeah, where are you at right now?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh,
cool.
that's such a cool town.
I saw on your Instagram page today that you were just like throwing a dart at your map behind you, and we're gonna go somewhere. Is
Literally,
that
we
actually
did.
happening?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's
I like
awesome.
Charleston. I used to live here.
Oh, really? You guys gonna make your way to Asheville? You've probably been there a few times.
Of course, I've been to Asheville and the vortex over there.
The black hole of Asheville.
The
That's
black
so
hole.
cool.
in Asheville.
It just sucks
Where are
you
you
in.
guys at? Where's your studio?
We are on a lake called Liberty Lake, which is like right next to the Idaho border in eastern Washington State, at this 100-year-old lodge called the Zephyr Lodge. And
Look at that.
yeah, it's pretty rad. I wish we could give you the tour right now, but unfortunately, you're on like this big TV. We can't roll you around. Unfortunately, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Roll me around. Let me see.
Is it obnoxious for you? Because we did a couple interviews yesterday where we were like sitting. He was way over there, and I was way over here, and people were like looking like on their computers
this is
trying to
perfect.
find us. Can you see us? Kind of.
I can sit still. I'm used to this. I host a
Great.
podcast. I know what to do.
You do host a podcast.
I'd like to tell you how glorious your audio sounds right now, Stephanie Powers. This
Does it sound good?
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
That's how we roll.
you got the technical side of life situated.
I love this stuff. You know, I used to be a DJ when I was in high school.
No
Turntables, mixtapes, everything.
Oh,
You got a hell
wow.
of a life experience, and we're gonna dive into that shit.
I really
girl.
do.
We
But
were,
for 32, I do.
Yeah.
We were digging through some of your podcasts this morning, which like your podcast is amazing. I'm so stoked that we share an affinity for flat-nosed animals. I have 2 bulldogs.
Jeffrey, shout out.
Jeffrey!
Where is he?
Yes. He had to leave because he'll bark. He'll blarf. If he sees anything. Yeah, but today we just released a new episode with an animal communicator, Rose Proud, where she read Jeffrey live on air.
What was that like?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jinx.
You need to have her on your show. It's incredible to read your bulldogs. She channels animals and then gives you messages from them.
Oh my God, I have
Come on.
I want to. Maybe we should do a podcast where we think about what Ricky Lake. One of my bulldogs' name is Ricky Lake.
It's Rick-
And she's an interesting creature. We can maybe try and just guess what might be rolling through Ricky's head at any moment. And then we have, what was her name, Stephanie?
Her name's Rose Proud.
Rose?
She lives in Asheville.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Was it
Wow.
interesting and fascinating, or was it like, did you know?
Yeah,
could
you know,
could
I'm
you tell?
spiritual. Yeah, and I'm spiritual myself, and she's actually a friend of mine. We became friends through the show, and so I've stayed with her in her house in Asheville, and she taught me how to communicate with animals. So I can do it now, but Jeffrey definitely confessed some things to her that I wasn't aware of because we're in our fishbowl of emotions together.
What did he say? What was the what did he say that you were like not expecting?
Well, geez, it's hard to associate serious topics with a pug, but
Right.
I'm dating someone with children from a previous relationship, and Jeffrey talked about how he feels how uncomfortable I am in that situation and how my partner loves it. Look at your faces. You're like, oh, shit.
It's so crazy. That's so wild to hear something like that.
Yeah, so it's all on the show. I don't edit anything out. When we roll, we roll. I
neither
keep
do
it
we.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for folks listening or watching at home, that's the Lightworkers Lounge podcast by Stephanie Powers. And you can check that out kind of wherever you get podcasts, right, Stephanie?
Exactly. We're
Yeah.
everywhere. Accidentally. I did not want Lightworker. Oh, it's not that I didn't want it to, but when I started Lightworkers Lounge, it was a hobby. It was just
Yeah.
a release point for me.
Yeah, it's very uplifting and light.
Thank you. Alan, how did you find the show?
I found that, well, me being the narcissist that I am, whenever somebody with a blue check mark mentions my music, I go, "Oh, this person's important," and I check out their stuff, and I was like, so one of my best friends, who you can't see our producer and our host right now because for some reason I'm the technical side of the show and the production side, and I haven't figured out how to get his audio in here. So our friend Steve, he's running the cameras and doing the switching right now.
Co-pilot.
Steve co-pilot. He can hear you,
says
but
hi.
Steve, yell for her. Give her. Stevie baby right there. Yeah, back up.
Jesus.
He'll get you. He's a sneaky. So Steve and I have been friends for many years, and Steve's partner is one of my best friends of all time. She was my first tour manager. We've been friends for coming up on 12 years now, I think. Her father was an astrologist, and so he kind of, her and her family, and he got me into the astrology thing and got me kind of curious about it. And so I connected on that tip, as well as I've been looking at RVs recently, and I'm thinking about travel trailer. I don't know about a proper RV because that might just be out of my budget right now. But anybody with a likeness for RVs, I go, what's going on here? What do they got? You got a microwave? Or you got a convectional oven in there? I want to know.
Yes, everything.
Both of
It's all
them?
right behind me. Can you see it behind me?
Yeah.
So this is just like a proper RV then. That's what
it's
it
a big
is.
motor. It's like a big bus.
Yeah.
We
And-
remodeled and made look pretty.
Yeah, wow. And you just bought the thing and that's life
That's
now.
it.
That's your home.
This is life now. This is
Wow.
it. You have to be prepared for when aliens come, and
Totally.
you have to drive and live somewhere new.
How far away do you think it is before the aliens are like out and about and they're going to Starbucks and they're taking like 15 minutes to make an order at Starbucks? You're like, come on, alien. You should be able to telepathically get your order in before you get here. This is crazy.
Telepathic. It's already been happening, Ellen.
You think so?
know this.
I don't know much. I've listened to the Rogan podcast like 4 or 5 times, and he's all about aliens. So I'm like, there's got to be some aliens around.
He is. Have you noticed a lot of people are talking about aliens lately?
Yes, I have.
You were talking about aliens lately.
Yeah, I watched Phenomenon, that documentary that recently came out by, I forget the name of the director, but that blew my mind. I had no idea.
They're everywhere. I think it's silly to imagine that they're not here. Well, I mean, it's scarier to think we're alone in this universe.
It is, yeah, but I typically just utilize my time scrolling looking for people who like me with blue check marks. So I don't worry about
A narcissist at heart.
yeah. So you from Colorado originally, correct?
Alan, I'm from everywhere. I'm from Earth, is what I tell people, because
Okay.
I've moved around so much. I was born and partially raised in southern Indiana, and then I grew up in New Hampshire, and then I lived here in South Carolina. Then I lived in the Florida Keys and Colorado,
Wow.
Why were you moving around so much?
because I'm a Sagittarius.
What does that mean to two idiots who don't
That's
understand what that means?
astrology. Alan, you should know astrology.
I
Have
know-
you been studying it?
I haven't been studying it, no, but we had Laura's mother on the podcast, and she does this cool, what do we call it? Astrology. So she does Qigong as well as astrology, and she did some cool work on us. That was a really fun podcast. I forget what episode that was, but
Yeah.
I
She
don't
read our
study
charts, too.
astrology as probably as in depth as you do, but so you moved around quite a bit. Were you folks in the military or what
No, it's just all this life experience. My parents split up when I was 5, and there was alcoholism involved, and my mom said, I'll see you later, I'm out of here, and took us up to New Hampshire. And then I've just always, so being a Sagittarius means you're a free spirit. You love to travel. It's the sign of the free spirit that knows no limits. So I love it. I love moving around. It doesn't feel comfortable to plant roots somewhere and stay there too long.
Yeah.
I came here to explore and learn.
But from what I've gathered, you wanted to go out to the Florida Keys to plant yourself and become grounded out there.
Yeah, I did.
And that just recently changed. You've just kind of left there. How long did you stay there?
I was there for about a year.
That was like your
I li-
dream. That was your
was.
manifestation, as you call it, to get there.
It was.
Yeah.
But we're always shifting and changing and growing, right? And when I was there, I realized that what I want there, which is a private home on the ocean, costs a lot more than I can afford right now.
Yeah, totally.
And then I've had this change of heart recently where I want to grow my own food. I don't want to have neighbors for miles. I want to rescue animals and have a lot of property. It's this weird shift, and I'm growing and evolving and just kind of going with the winds of change in it. And I really crave a farm.
Cool.
I don't know.
Sweet. How much is your podcast a contributing factor into that world of yours that you're trying to create?
Oh, goodness. Probably 25%.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm telling you guys, I'm a one-woman band over here. I do
I
everything.
know, it's so cool.
All the editing, everything. It's just a hobby still. So
Yeah.
it's bizarre to be a guest on shows and to have really big-name guests on my show. It's still blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. And how did it get traction? Just because it started to pick up and you were telling your truth and people just dug it?
Yeah, and the episode that really put me on the map was I went through a divorce in 2018,
Right.
and I'm all about posting real, raw shit. And so I signed the final divorce papers, which, when you say goodbye to someone you've been with over a decade, there's a lot of emotions. Even if it's an amicable split, there's a lot of intense emotions that come with it. Your life has changed completely forever.
Yeah.
And so when I left the courthouse, I went to an Airbnb, and he stayed at our apartment we had, and I was just numb. I felt really numb. I didn't know how to feel and process everything that I was going through. So I closed my bedroom door, I hit record, and just closed my eyes and talked into the microphone until the sun set. And I said, I channeled, and I just released like a diary. And then I posted it, and it went viral.
Really?
Wow. Do you remember what episode that is? Because I would really love to hear that.
Ooh, it was in June 2018.
Okay. That's all I need. I will find it.
Yep,
Yeah.
June 2018. Go back in the archives, and I think it's just called Divorce, period. Because I was so numb. I didn't even know what to call it. I didn't even make a description of the episode. I just posted it. And to this day, you guys, I haven't listened to it. I refuse.
Oh, wow. Now, was making the podcast a result of the divorce and the breakup, or were you already doing that previous to the split?
So it's really interesting how it all unfolded. It's very synchronistic, as we say on the show.
Yeah.
I used to have a blog called Free Spirit Fun, where I would travel a lot, as I always have, and I would share the journeys, the random conversations with strangers that taught me a lot about life and inspired me. And then I became a holistic health coach because I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease when I was 25. And I healed it all naturally. Against doctors saying there's no way I could without major surgery, I healed it completely.
Wow.
And inspired by that, I became a holistic health coach because I thought I can't keep this knowledge to myself when so many people are reliant on pills, getting major surgeries. I've got to go out there and share this. Look at you both
I know.
adjusting.
That was weird. We
My
felt your
posture.
energy. You
Yeah,
changed. You messed with us.
My
right?
wife was telling me, sit up straight.
We just did though. We just did
proper.
totally do that at the exact same moment. That was
Yeah, bro. Synchronicity, bro.
Synchronicity.
There it is.
Giving
You
it to
guys are
us.
soulmates.
Yeah.
We
You guys
are.
are soulmates.
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to interview you guys after too. But then I started a holistic health coach business called Evolve to Health. And I quickly realized that people know how to be healthy. They know to eat vegetables and fruit. They know to drink more water and exercise. Why aren't they doing it? And all of my client sessions turned into these emotional, telling me deep secrets about their marriages and their relationships. They're telling me how unhappy they are at work, even though they put on a happy face and get a good paycheck. They're miserable. And I thought, wow, health has nothing to do with what you eat and all about how you feel. And so inspired by those stories, including my own, I started a podcast where I just wanted to share everything I learned and take my blog to a higher, more intimate level where my viewers could hear my voice besides just read my words.
Wow.
That's how it all started.
Yeah, by the way, you have an incredibly soothing voice, Stephanie.
I love
best.
reading my iTunes reviews. Everyone says my voice is like velvet.
It
It
is.
is. It's like, yeah, it is like velvet. That's a wonderful way to put it.
Yeah.
So, wow, I have like way too many questions for you. Where do you find that ability to? I struggle with like the wall between what I keep sacred and what I release to people. Like I just all the time. Like
We've been having a lot of conversations in the last like week about this kind of stuff too. So you're going to be very instrumental in this, hopefully.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we might have some
So
breakthroughs right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you do. There are still some things that I hold near and dear to my heart because I'm so afraid of the shame or the guilt that may come. You guys have a lot of followers. You know what it's like. You get lots of opinions, lots of eyes on you, and it's scary. But, I found that the podcast episodes that do the best are the weeks where I just feel like shit. I don't feel like showing up, but I made a promise that I would. So I just sit in front of the microphone. I hit record, and I'll openly say, like, guys, I feel low this week. I feel worthless. I don't feel like I have any good art or energy to give you, but here I am. And then I'll just ramble on for 30 minutes and post it and forget about it. And I get the most emails, the most downloads, the most. So people just crave authenticity. It's really hard to find that in social media and music and podcasts these days. People are so staged.
Yeah. Why does low feel authentic and good feel not?
Oh, now that's a question right there. I think it's because we're socially conditioned to hide low emotions.
Okay.
I mean, look at social media. You have to post your highlight reel. But I think as a collective, we're shifting into sharing more mental health awareness. Think like 10 years ago, if you told someone, oh, I'm seeing a therapist. Oh, that sucks. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And now today it's like, yo, guess what my therapist said today? And they're like, cool. Who do you see? I want to go see them.
Yeah.
It's becoming more mainstream. Going to see a therapist is as mainstream, hopefully, as going to see a dentist or getting a physical.
Yeah, totally. That's such a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's become very destigmatized. Do you feel like, because I always find that how I operate in life is kind of as a result of what I've experienced in life, and I'm trying to counterbalance what I had experienced previously. So like your working life, maybe your people, like your exercise, your health, your conditioned mind to being spiritual, is that because you knew what it was like to be the opposite of that early on in your life, and now you can kind of like affect yourself through this purpose and this course because you know what the alternative is to that?
That is such a dope question. I've always I was raised by an Aquarius, and I know you guys don't necessarily know what that means, but Aquarius in the zodiac, they are like the Steve Jobs, the Nikola Tesla. They stand out. They're inventive, different, the black sheep of the family. And my mom is an Aquarius. Today's actually her birthday.
What?
And
Cool. Happy birthday.
Mama's birthday.
What's her
She's
name?
dope. Lisa Powers.
Happy birthday, Lisa
Happy
Powers.
birthday, Lisa
Aw.
Powers.
What a great woman.
Thank you. Yeah. And she raised me very unconventionally. I was born in 88, raised in the 90s. Remember that Got Milk campaign? All the celebrities would have
For
milk
sure.
on
Milk
their
mustache.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom was like, why would I feed my children baby calf growth fluid? That doesn't sound right.
She was very progressive.
So she's very progressive and unconventional. So she always taught me to be confident in myself and think outside the box. So I credit a lot of that to her, and I've naturally have an inclination to be geared more towards nature and natural things. In high school and stuff, I never had a group of friends. I was friends with everybody. And I was a DJ. Come on. Like, what little blonde-haired, blue-eyed 16-year-old girl is a DJ making mixtapes with subwoofers in her Dodge Neon?
Right. It's awesome.
Dude, Dodge Neon, shout out. It's been a minute. What color?
Black.
Yeah.
So did you have to experience your ego at its worst then to figure out your ego at its best and to try to like go opposite ways with that?
Yeah. You know what I always say on the show when I had my like dark night of the soul where I started to really spiritually transform, I didn't have any friends, like no communication with anyone for a solid 5 years. It was while I was married. They were the loneliest years of my life. Yes, I had a husband who was kind of like a built-in friend, but I had no girlfriends, no friends outside of that. And at first I felt bad, like what's wrong with me? But I don't like people. They're too dramatic. I don't care. But then I realized it was kind of the universe isolating me because it knew how influenced I was by other energies. I was a narcissist at heart. I would look for that blue check, as Alan said.
Right.
Just latch onto it and go with it. So being isolated forced me to look at my shit, forced me to get back in tune with who I really was, which was spiritual, which was astrology, which was psychology, and all of this stuff. And so after that really lonesome period, I came out of my shell. I was born again, and I said, this is who I am. This is what I love. Hello, world.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I have more friends than I can count, and a great healthy relationship. I love what I do. It's a
Yeah.
dark night of the soul. We all go through it.
You're very young to have been divorced already, and so could you
I
walk
know.
us through like what that process was and who you were before and now how you've kind of become this person for yourself and what you've learned through that experience?
Yeah. Oh, the big D word. My
What's the big
ego
D?
still kind of divorce.
Oh God, sorry.
The
Dale
big D.
Earnhardt, Jules. Come on, keep up. What's the D word?
I said a lot of words in that sentence. I couldn't keep track.
I know. Divorce. It's weird. It's funny you guys bring that up because just yesterday a client was saying to me, she's like, you're kind of known as like the divorce person. Everybody books coaching calls with you to talk about their divorce. And it's true because I'm the first one to be open about it. Divorce is another one of those things like mental health where you don't really want to talk about it because people will think you can't hold on to a relationship, you are immature or you're cheating. They always associate divorce with negative things, which I'm trying to change people to say, no, congratulations on your divorce. I had a random woman come up to me during like the first 6 months where I was traveling and I would tell strangers, yeah, I just got a divorce and here I am in the Keys. And everybody would always look at you and go, oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry to hear that. And it was like, I feel great. I don't know why you're apologizing.
Yeah.
But one older woman with long gray hair who lived in a shipping container in Costa Rica, we just happened to meet at a tiki bar. I told her and she just patted me on the shoulder and said, congratulations. You're brave enough to live your truth. That's admirable. I thought, I like that.
Cool.
I really like that.
What when you go to I'm sorry to change the subject, but
ahead.
I went on a tour where the entire crew was obsessed with tiki bars. And so
It's a vibe.
it's a vibe. And there's tiki bars in like little boutique tiki bars all over the country.
Yeah.
Do you visit tiki bars quite a bit, or was this just a random stop? Because there's like history of tiki bars that go back since the
It's
war.
that vibe. Well, okay, you want to get real deep with it. Think of the beach. So the beach is where people go to get inspired and feel live again because the waves that are constantly moving in the ocean are producing negative ions, which actually make you happy. Negative ions produce serotonin, dopamine, all those chemicals. So people who are like, I need a vacation, I need to go to the beach. It's because they're in the rat race, they're cold, they're tired, they're drained. They go to the ocean, they're constantly breathing in negative ions, so they feel happy and relaxed and alive again. When you crave grounding, when you're just too stressed, too busy, you want to go to the mountains. You want to go to a farm, somewhere still and quiet. There's no negative ions over there. So tiki bars are usually set up on the beach where, yes, you're drinking alcohol and having fun and there's steel drums playing and it's just all collectively an energy that makes you feel young, wild, and free again.
Yeah, wow. What drink do you get at the Tiki Lounge when you go? What's your
Well,
your
guys,
brew?
I am a holistic health coach.
So you don't drink? Oh, sorry.
No, I do. I
Oh,
do on occasionally. Yeah, that's another thing we talk about on the show because if you guys go and listen to the early episodes, I used to freestyle and rap.
Sweet.
Oh man, well
Drop some.
when Julian used to back in the day when Julian used to be a little bit more susceptible to the spirits, he used to freestyle like a fucking madman, dude.
I've been knocked out on the subways of New York City because I was attempting to freestyle with a guy. It happened once, but I was knocked out cold by this man.
Cold cocked
me.
Do you want us to kick you a beat right now and you just throw down some free on the old how good sis?
No pressure,
I won't
pressure,
put you.
no
I won't
pressure.
put you on the spot. Maybe at the end. We're just getting to know each other. You didn't even tell us your tiki drink yet. We got Stevie Baby
No.
mixing them up in the back.
Let me hear it. Okay.
Boom.
Is that what you wanted to hear? Or do you want to hear the tiki drink
Yes.
being made?
I thought that
I
was
want to hear the tiki drink.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought she was
My
talking.
bad.
I was making like blender noises and you were beating.
Blender noise.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I got to slow down the BPM. I was thinking, like, when's she going to come in? Maybe.
Oh, I can't. Well, it's delayed. You're delayed.
Yeah.
Oh, we are?
And we threw the.
So I was trying to jump in, but you're delayed. And then I
it's-
could only hear Alan, and then I could only hear you.
Yeah, we don't turn Julian's mic on.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's fine.
So I'm just kidding.
Unfortunately. Well, let me ask you guys. Do you think that spiritual? Because I've been debating this with people lately.
Yeah.
Can spiritual people eat Cheetos and drink vodka, or should they be healthy?
I think that Go, Jules. You go. I'm gonna think about my answer,
You're asking if they should.
or if they can.
I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, should is such a strange idea, right? Like we should or shouldn't. I don't know. I think like I don't think it removes them from being a spiritual person if they eat Cheetos and drink vodka. I think like I love Cheetos, Puffs particularly. Alan
Shout out to Puffs.
and I love a good puff bag every once in a while.
You guys should be sponsored by them and have some on the table right there with you.
Right.
You got a hook. You know somebody over at the Nabisco?
But I don't think that alcohol in general is very conducive to spirituality. I think it like really hinders me. I've taken some time. I've taken like years off of drinking before and gone on some sober kicks, and I have found that the most clarity of my life has come in those periods. And typically, if I'm not drinking, I'm not really eating Cheetos either. So they kind of go hand in hand, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not to say that I don't think that people that drink vodka and eat Cheetos can't be spiritual and like really intentional and have a good idea of themselves and their identity. But I don't know. That's an interesting idea to kind of.
I think that if they only ate Cheetos and drank vodka, it would be very difficult to be spiritual.
Right.
But my spirituality and my spiritual journey feels like at times, well, one, like I've never arrived. It's kind of like if I'm in a pool and I'm at like I'm in the deep end of the pool and it's like 7.5 feet deep and I'm 6'1.5" sopping wet.
Yep.
And I'm jumping up and I'm getting just to the surface and I'm looking above it and I'm like, oh, there's Nirvana, bye. And I go right back down and I jump back up and I go, oh, there's the peace and tranquility. Oh, goodbye, I go back down. But like treading water and staying up there, my spiritual walk and journey has never just been able to float. Like I can't float above the surface in my spiritual walk. It's like a daily practice thing where if I'm really on my A game, spiritually, emotionally, physically, it's like it's a full-time job. I got no time to raise my kid. I got no time to scratch my pups. I got no, like I'm just, my spiritual journey is just like, okay, now I need to meditate. Okay, I'm 30 minutes in. I need to re-meditate again. And so do I think that you can explore all of the wonderful attributes of the universe and still be spiritually centered? Yes. But I think it's like a constant journey, and I think you're constantly having to like jump off the bottom of the pool and just look up and see if you can't get to the top of the surface because you're gonna be going back down soon.
Yeah. Wow. I love that analogy, Alan. I might have to steal that from you.
Please
on the
do.
show.
Please do.
That is so good. And yeah, your answers are very similar to mine. I always say it's intention. Are you drinking with friends and laughing and creating music and having fun with it? Then alcohol is okay. If you're cracking one by yourself because you had a really shitty day, not so much.
Right. This is where I go back to that idea of like, do you know that because you experienced the alternative, which is like, because for me, I had to turn into an alcoholic for years of my life and be completely shit on with my own ego and my own understanding of self and no self-love whatsoever to understand what was possible for me as an alternative to that. But it doesn't seem like you. It seems like you just are way more clear-headed and
kind of. I mean, I just lost who I was. I was a people pleaser.
Same.
And I did what a lot of people wanted me to do. If I had it my way and I was rooted in who I was and my decisions, I would have been a famous DJ or music producer by now. I would love making beats. I love all of that. But, it's sad to say this, but I had someone say to me, an adult that I looked up to, they said, can you be a DJ and be a married woman and have a baby? Can you be at a club at 3 a.m. with a big pregnant belly? Is that going to pay your bills? And I thought, wow, I don't know. Because I didn't want to go to college. College was not for me. I wanted to go to music production school, Full Sail, down in Orlando.
Wow, no way. My manager went to Full Sail down in Orlando. Did you go to?
That was my dream.
Did you
No.
go? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Nope, I
was like,
didn't.
Do you know my manager? That would be
We
crazy.
were in class together. No, that was my dream, but I gave it up because I was told you can't make money from music. You can't make money from art. You can't
You
be a
don't.
mother.
Well, you don't seem like somebody that would buy into something that somebody else would say to you, though. So that's the thing. That's like you had to learn that, right?
Yeah, I was in that egotistical trap of, okay, you go to college, get a business degree, then you get engaged, you get married, you have baby, buy house, and continue on working your 9 to 5 from there. I fell into that and it made me sick. I really do credit my autoimmune disease from living a life that was so untrue to me. And it's funny, do you guys know what chakras are? The chakra system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know much
Yeah.
about them, but I've heard of them.
Enough.
Yeah, so your throat chakra is your blue chakra, and they say when it's closed, you're not speaking your truth. You're not being honest with yourself and people. And I wasn't. I went and got my chakra photo taken when I got diagnosed with my autoimmune disease, and my throat chakra was non-existent. It was so small and closed, it didn't show up on camera. And that's when I got diagnosed with a thyroid disease. They're all right here.
Wow.
Whoa.
What? Can you walk me through the process of getting a picture taken of your chakras? Like, what's that like?
Yeah, you can go to Sedona, Arizona, and they're all over the place. But just look up a Reiki therapist in your area. You guys are in Washington State. There should be a bunch up there, too. But Reiki therapist or aura photo. Just Google it. Aura
Okay.
photos.
Wow. And
They
they
should pop up.
just take a picture of you with the camera, and it shows
Yeah,
up kind of.
you put your hand in this like metallic sensor system, just one hand, and then they have a background that's like a big black dark thing, and they take your picture and they'll see your aura, and then they'll see all of your chakras. And then they
Really?
give you advice. Yeah, some of your chakras could be too far open. Some of them are so small. Some of them are muddy, so energy isn't flowing freely through it.
Is this something that you practice regularly? Do you do this? Do you take these photos, or do you like check in with
no.
yourself like that?
No, but I get my hormones tested yearly just to make sure my autoimmunity is in remission. And I just got my results back, and my hormones are very low because I've been working so much. Like I told you, I run everything by myself. Now
Yeah.
I'm getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And so we're probably going to stay in Charleston for a little while so I can get energy work done. Because with my hormone levels being so low, I should be so fatigued. I should not be able to think clearly to hold a conversation. But I feel great physically, but emotionally, I can tell I'm just burning a midnight candle.
Wow.
So so I've already found great practitioners here in Charleston to get energy work done. Rebalance the chakras, massage therapy, Reiki therapy.
I'm scheduling a one-on-one session, and because you do those, right? You do these
Yes.
like sessions where you
Yeah.
like do birth charts and
Yes.
and what else do you like include in those types of things when you get one-on-one with somebody?
Tarot reading, and we also include a birth chart reading. So I study people for like an hour before I get on a phone call with them, and then we'll meditate together. We'll dive really deep together into secrets they've never shared with anyone together. It's funny how you can see people's auras or people's energies just light up when they've released something they've been holding in that nobody knew for years. But then they share it with me, and I swear after they get that out, then all of a sudden they want to eat better. They want to drink more water. They want to move their body more.
Wow, that's so cool. I think that's such a interesting way to approach health, that people really do know what to do and how to do it, yet the emotional side of their universe is really what's steering them towards self-destruction. It's not
Yes.
like, oh man, this tequila tastes so good. I've found myself in many situations like having too much of a tequila indulgence, and
I love tequila.
oh, it's all good, dude.
We all?
I'm off of it. I'm off of it right now, Stephanie. But man, the last few days I've been thinking about it. I've been
Me
missing it.
too. So that was my drink of choice, was just tequila, seltzer, and lime.
Oh, that's a
the
great
one.
choice. That's a
The
great
one.
choice. As a singer, and you sing your tail off. That's amazing. Do you still produce music? I'm sorry to change the subject on you. I don't have very many fluid thoughts.
He's not
Hey,
drinking.
this is exactly like Lightworkers Lounge. We're all over the place. But this is what people love. Look at the king of podcasts, Joe Rogan. This is what his
Yeah.
shows are like. People
Right.
love it. But no, I don't, Alan, and I wish I did. I always say I'm going to give everything up one day and just become like a ghostwriter for songs and a beats producer under a name that nobody knows me by.
How about
Just-
DJ Powers?
Yeah.
That was my DJ name.
Yeah.
I had a huge banner that somebody like with street art painted, and Yeah. So picture that. I was doing like proms and school dances. So like everybody else my age was enjoying the dance. I was behind the tables, which I loved it so much. I love doing mashups, taking lyrics and putting them with another beat of song. I loved it. But it gets isolating because
Yeah.
you don't feel like you fit in.
Yeah, that's
It's
interesting. I wonder if have you ever done a silent disco?
Is that where everybody wears headphones?
Yeah, they all have these like Bluetooth headphones on. You can get like hundreds of them paired together. And the DJ pumps out. I did it at man, what was the name of this conference? It was a yoga conference. I forget the name of it. I apologize. But yeah, hundreds of people in this tent. Everybody's dancing, and you walk up into the tent, and you're like, what the fuck are these
And
weirdos
it's silent.
doing? Yeah, it's silent, and everybody's just screwing. Wow. The best part about it is that the DJ can pump out like 5 different songs, and you get to select which channel on your headphones you're hearing. So like you could be dancing to Tina Turner while your friends are dancing to Coldplay.
Oh, cool.
And you're like, I don't know what's happening. We're not in the same group. This is all. But anyways, another random shitfo caveat that for you, Stephanie Powers, from the mind of me. I apologize.
I love that. I would love to attend something or be the DJ there or just go. Take Cardi B on one station,
Yeah.
Coldplay on the next.
I tried to figure out how I could have one in one ear and one in the other, but they didn't have that feature yet.
Oh God. Oh no. That'd be like on mushrooms.
Do you have any music production stuff with you still? Or is it just specifically all just podcast gear? I mean, you have it with a laptop. You have,
Yeah, of course.
you know, what
Yeah.
you need. I guess you probably got a lot on your plate, but it sounds like something that you're gonna have to tap back into.
Oh, here's something cool to share with you guys. This is going to come on the show in the next 2 weeks, but I got an Akashic Records reading the other week. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Oh, you're going to write that down. Remember it. Producers, take note.
Akashic.
Records.
How do you spell it? Akashic.
Akashic. Akashic Records. It's where you hire an Akashic Records reader to go up. They say they channel like Palladian alien energies, and they go up in a library of all the past lives you've had, and they pull info based off of what you ask about. I had no idea what to expect. Like, that's some really deep spiritual shit.
Yeah.
I'm really spiritual myself, but like this is just stuff that is really deep for me.
Yeah.
But all of my listeners were like, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. So I gave them what they want, and I did it. And it explains so much. You know, since I was a little girl, whenever I go to live shows, I cry, I get choked up, and I just feel, even if I went to Kanye West Glow in the Dark tour, and I was crying like a baby as Lil Wayne was doing Lollipop.
I cry my ass off too, all the time.
Yes, and I never knew what it was, but finally I got my records read, and she said, in my most recent past life, I was a famous jazz singer. Like, very famous.
Wow.
And you know, my favorite movies are things like Titanic, Great Gatsby. I love that era. And she said that's the era. I was a famous jazz singer.
That's so weird, because I feel like you could be that now if you wanted to. So like the parallels to like your life now, and I always feel like if that's real, then you're just something very, very far off from what you could potentially be now. But I guess that's misinformation.
Stephanie, so you're deeply involved and knowledgeable of like the spiritual world and the execution of different spiritual readings. Is there anything that you're like, yeah, but that, like you know, the Akashic reading, you're like, you got to get one, try it out. Like, are you just open to anything, or is there some stuff that you roll up and you're like, I don't know if this is, is that a bad question, or I'm curious about it?
Well, there's some readers on Instagram that scare me. They call themselves twin flame readers, and they cast spells to bring back an ex into your life and make them fall in love with you. I'm like, oh man, you guys are ruining spirituality. Can you not?
Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's like charlatans, just like there are in anything.
With everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's probably
I'm open.
there's probably a lot in that world for you as well, because it's hard, even, you know, when you get into like the life coaching or the spiritual guiding type of thing, to be like, you know, stick your nose up at it and be like, come on, like, really? Are you sure? How do you like combat being, I guess you just be honest, and you just stay true to yourself and do that thing and not care what other people think about you. But it's hard, because there are so many people that try to make businesses out of this thing. And, you know, there are these like horoscope readers that like base their lives around I'm a Gemini, so like therefore I am this, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You don't actually know anything about astrology, and these people just make these asinine remarks about who they are, who other people are, and they live their lives through this lens of that idea, and it kind of puts like a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But you seem
Hell
to.
yeah, it does.
Does that happen to you too? Do you look at people that are in the same business, and can you like, do you get judgmental with that and then have to like calm yourself because you're like, fuck, I'm doing it? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely I do all the time. It's really sad, especially with, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but there's this really mainstream thing coming up called twin flames, soulmates, karmic partners, and they're saying, oh, I'm dating a married man with children, but he's my twin flame, so it's okay. And it's like, oh no, why do humans ruin good things?
What is the twin flame? Like, what is that? What does that mean?
Basically, a twin flame is a very strong instant connection. They say in spiritual terms that you have the same soul. You're just ripped from the same cloth. And then you go about this life, and when you find them, it's passionate sex. You connect, and there's never fighting, and you're each other's one and only. And people are just romanticizing it, turning into a Disney movie. And it's like, no, that's actually, a twin flame comes into your life to shake shit up. If you haven't been living your truth and you're with the wrong person, you had kids with the wrong person, the universe is going to send someone in who you have a magnetic draw to and just can't say no to. Even if logically you're like, that person's married, or they're already taken, or I'm married and I shouldn't see them, you're going to have this draw that will just not let you let go of this person. But that person's not who you're supposed to be happily ever after with. They're supposed to come in and shake your life up and get you to make the right changes to realign with your soul's purpose. Yeah, it's really deep, but people are taking it, running with it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I think my new DJ name would be DJ Twin Flame.
Yes.
I might switch that up.
You will get a blue check mark for that.
Yeah, perfect.
I might get 2. If I get 2 blue check marks, what does that mean, Stephanie Powers?
It's double negative, dude.
That means big tech loves you, and you're gonna be famous, and your algorithm will keep you at the top of everybody's news feed.
I can't wait. I can't wait to influence. I can't wait to influence.
So in the conversation of like finding love and that kind of thing, you're with a new partner now named JL, I believe is his name.
Yeah, Baby JL, Jordan.
Baby J, as you refer to him on your podcast. How long was it after your divorce that you found him, and did you guys find each other through like these kinds of communications, and like what did that all look like? Because I imagine like you know exactly what you want and what you don't want, so it would take a really special kind of guy to kind of come into your life and actually charm you enough to make you call him Baby J.
On a podcast, nonetheless.
Yeah.
I forget. My podcast is so free. I forget I call him that. So when people recognize us out and about, they'll be like, "Oh, Baby J, how are you?" I'm like, "Oh shit, that's my pet name for him."
Well, it's out there in public. All I know him as is Baby J.
Baby J.
Baby J.
Yeah. Alan, he is your biggest fan. Like, if he could come in here and say hi to you,
what? Bring him in. Come on.
Oh my God. He took the dog down the road to a greenway to run.
Okay, how about this? I'm sorry to cut you off, but how about this, Stephanie Powers? For Baby J's next big celebration, whatever it is, you choose. Me and you make a song for Baby J.
Ooh.
You make the beat, and you throw down the rap verse, and I'll sing the hook.
Hell yeah.
Done.
Baby J.
Sold.
I've already got the intro. It goes like this. Baby J. Baby J. Baby J. That's pretty tight.
Okay.
Oh, I love it. We're doing it. It's happening.
He's not around to say hi?
No, he's not.
Yeah, that's okay.
So sorry, continue. How did you and Baby J meet, Stephanie?
And where were you prior to meeting him too? Like, because there was some probably significant turmoil that was happening in your life post D word, and then
the big D.
The big D.
You know, people always ask, how did you find a relationship like that? How do you find your real friends? You don't. They find you, and they find you because you're doing things you love that bring you joy, and then these people are seemingly just planted on your path. I found Baby J because
Baby J.
he was. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. He was dating someone named Stephanie.
Oh.
At the time.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
Scandalous.
She was a fan of the show.
She was a fan of the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she sent him one of my episodes about twin flames,
Oh,
actually.
jeez.
And then he reached out to me like, "Hey, this episode was so good. I have a couple of questions." And I was just like, "Wow, men really never reach out to me." And there was no romantic context at all, no energy like that, just straight up like a listener that had a question. And he caught my eye because it's always women. So I thought, "Wow, a man that's interested in spirituality and relationship stuff, this is dope." So I answered his questions, and then we just went back and forth talking about spirituality and our life journeys. He had been divorced too, so we kind of bonded over the D word, and we just became quick friends. And it was so beautiful because we really were just friends. He was dating someone else, I was dating someone else, and it's so nice to like be friends with someone of the opposite sex, and there's no like, "You're so hot, you want to talk," none of that. He was my best friend. And then finally, like, I was driving from Colorado to Key West, and I went through Texas where he was from, and I was like, "Hey, I'm only a couple hours from, do you want to meet up and like get coffee?" And he's like, "Of course, we've been friends for 8 months, like we've gotta meet up." So we met up, and it was just kind of like, oh wow, to feel your energy in person, because we had just been talking over text and FaceTime. This is a whole new ball game. Whoa.
Yeah. Was it a twin flame?
Yeah. Our birth chart, I was reading our synastry, which is when you put two birth charts together, it does say we are twin flames.
It's
And look, we got matching tattoos.
cool.
We both have Scorpio moons, so we got
that's
matching
cool.
tattoos.
That's
Where did you
Yeah.
get the tattoos at? Where were you?
Florida Keys.
Florida
The
Keys.
Florida Keys. Yeah.
Rad.
That's interesting. It's a cool transition to go in from talking about Baby J and his interest in spirituality.
I thought you were having a stroke just then. Swear to God, bro. Julian, Julian. Sorry, before the show, Julian was cleaning up the studio, and he hit his head on a microphone
God, it
stand.
hurts. Yes.
Like, and we think potentially he got like a minor concussion. So
I can't open my jaw.
Shit.
Yeah, I thought for a
hurts.
second you having an aneurysm, bro. But
Yeah.
continue. My fault. Baby J. Go. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Release.
Baby J. Whoa. Yeah, I hear you talk. I heard you talk one time about masculine and feminine energy, and I have found in my experience as an adult that I kind of possess a lot of the feminine energy. I'm super emotional. I'm highly sensitive. I'm a Cancer. I don't really know what that means, but apparently it means that I'm like a baby back bitch, and I just like can't keep it together. Baby back bitch. And yeah, like I have found that like I've wound up in these relationships. I've been like a serial monogamist, as people like to call them, but I'm not in a relationship now. And most of the girls that I have dated have like kind of had this like, I see them and I'm like, wow, they're really attractive and they're super like feminine and they look so beautiful to me. But then I always like bring out this feminine side of myself that's like trying to be like super emotional, and like I try to have this emotional availability with them, and then they wind up just being like this masculine person that's like, bro, fuck yourself, like I'm sick of you being a fucking like whatever it is. And that's not necessarily true. They're all good people, but like I have been,
some of them.
Yeah, I have been I've been kind of playing with that with myself, like where does that come from, and where, like, because I think in my mind that a guy who's able to possess on the spectrum of masculine and femininity, sometimes more on the feminine side, can honestly be masculine in and of itself, and vice versa for females. And I think we get that twisted because we're so conditioned to believing like, I gotta be a man and go fucking chop lumber, and you gotta go fucking wear pearls and fucking cook me some goddamn rice-a-roni. And it's just like not true at all. And like these like roles that we've like been conditioned to believe in are like, I don't subscribe to that at all. And I just find that like sometimes I'm like in my head about it because I'm like, man, I'm just like, I'm feeling really emotional and I'm feeling like really something about this and sensitive to the thing that just got said. And it's just a lot of my guy friends even are just like, bro, like, shut up, it's fine, like, it's good, like, get it out of your head. And I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, good call. And then I don't, and it's just stuck there, and I deal with it a lot. And so I just loved. I guess there's no real question in there. I just love that you talked about that and brought it up
Yeah.
and made me think about
Oh,
that.
well, guess what? Just yesterday, we recorded a brand new episode about that with Jake Woodard, the specialist on masculine and feminine energy. You'll
Oh,
really like that
cool,
episode.
sweet.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, you may be a Cancer, which, yes, they are the very sensitive ones that take everything to heart. But that's your sun sign. That's your ego. That's how you express yourself to the world. Your moon sign is who you are when you're alone. That's who you are when you're creating music. That's who you are. What kind of music do you listen to in the car when you're driving by yourself? Who do you become when you're in a close-knit relationship with someone? Ooh, so you need to know your moon sign.
We do know our moons. I think I'm a Cancer.
Cancer,
Oh,
Cancer.
bless your heart.
He's a double
Yeah, I
Cancer.
think I'm a double Cancer. That's what we had, the astrologer on here, Steve's girlfriend's mom, who came on, and she read our charts, and I think I was a double Cancer.
Oh my gosh. You know, Cancers always have stomach problems, indigestion, constipation,
Well, that's
Crohn's,
fucking
IBS.
shitty.
Because
I got a
you
head
guys
problem. I got
feel-
head trauma.
Back up, because IBS, there may be something going on there.
What do you mean?
Yes.
Irritable bowel syndrome, bro. There's been many times that we've been hanging out where you've had to squinch cheeks, and we'd have to rush you to
I
the bathroom.
squinch. I definitely
That's
squinch.
all Cancers do, because you know that term, oh, you
Oh,
give me
man.
butterflies in my stomach. Cancers feel that times 10 with everything.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Well, you know what?
But
Your
why
gift
is that?
you're
But
more
that's
intuitive.
that's my head goes to like, well, now you're just generalizing that all Cancers do this, and I'm like, really? Like, is that true? Is that just
Well, it's 'cause-
true of these people, or is that just like
You know
because
how
it's accurate of
people
me?
say? Yeah, people say I just had this gut feeling that so and so is there. You guys have a gut feeling that is always right. You feel everything in your guts.
Huh?
Wow, dude, let's go to the casino after this, bro, because I'm trying to get some gut feelings on the jackpot,
Craps, baby, craps,
I'm
baby.
trying to. I don't have a job anymore.
Blackjack, baby.
Like, yes, Alan, what's your sun and moon?
I don't know what my moon is. I'm Pisces, but
There,
I'm not
knew it.
positive what my moon is. Do you remember, Jules?
I wasn't paying attention for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I apologize. But I'd like to have a personal reading too at some time, at
It'd
some
be
point,
super
Stephanie.
cool.
This has been really fun, just getting to chat
Yes.
with you, and any chance to just like listen to your soothing voice makes me feel just like I'm
Oh.
at the beach getting them negative ions, baby.
That's how you do it. Like you're chilling at that Tiki Bar with some tequila.
Yes. So you're traveling. You're on the road with your partner JL. You have
Bye-bye, Jay.
Jeffrey, who is your pug dog, and
That's my son.
it's your son. I apologize, your son. How do you manage like the work play relationship when you've kind of set yourself up to seem like you're on vacation 24 hours a day? Like, how do you set deadlines for yourself? Are you just so like in love with what you do that it brings you joy to do it? Because I'm a musician, and I get to do all fun shit. Like literally everything I do, if you look at it on paper, it's fun shit.
Fun shit.
But creative people, hopefully, and you might be different, but like 70% of what I do, I don't like. Right? It's like there's this plugging in cables and setting up drums and like putting the thing and emailing people and going scheduling and talking on radio shows, and it's like it's maybe 10% making music, and then it's like 75% like attempting to make people care about the music, which is like that's not what I got into. So how do you work with that part of your career
Gosh.
and your seemingly like vacation lifestyle? I'm sorry, I'm sure it's not, but
No, that's such a good question. And again, synchronicity. You guys are tapped into me over there, because just yesterday, Jules, I think I texted you this. You were like, your calendar is so organized. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow, thanks for that, because I do not feel organized. Like you said, Alan, it's exactly that. People look at us as creatives and think, wow, they're living the dream. They don't have a 9 to 5. They can go wherever they want. They can take breaks in the middle of the day. But no, like we don't get to clock out. We don't have a time card where
Right,
we can
yeah.
just shut down and turn off. Like
Yeah.
as soon as you put a new song out or a new album out, it's like, okay, what's next? Okay, let's create a new one.
yeah, what's the
And then-
side B?
Yes. Yeah. What's the side B?
Where's the
And same
music
here.
video? How many views does the video have? Who's
Ugh.
the cameo? Who we getting? We getting Lil Wayne?
Yeah.
We can't get Lil Wayne. He just got pardoned though. We might be able to get Lil Wayne now. Steve, if you could make a shout for Lil Wayne, please. That's Little Wheezy.
On it. Little Wayne.
Or Nicki Minaj. She's my favorite. Or Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah,
I really dig her.
I feel like Nicki Minaj, I mean, at least I always feel like she's a little overlooked. And she's like
Yes.
such
Really?
a badass. I don't know why I think that, but
Oh,
maybe I overlooked
I don't know
her.
enough about pop culture. Alan and I did a karaoke tour where we started the show with a Lizzo track, which was pretty hot because it was me and Alan dancing like Lizzo and trying to, shake our butts and do the thing. And it was twerk is what it's called. It was a bad look.
Yeah, it was more like tweak. It was pretty much just tweak.
Yeah, we just tweaked out.
Steph, please, can you fill us in on how you like do that while you're seemingly from the outside? Like, oh my God, you're living in a camper. You like get to just throw a dart at a map and go wherever you want.
Oh,
And is it
yes.
diesel? I hope it's diesel. Must get good gas mileage. You can do it for cheap, but you're like a fucking businesswoman. You like work your ass off and you set up your own mic and you got them DJ headphones and your shit is tight. Like, how do you
it?
balance that?
I take mushrooms.
Yeah! Stevie Boy's going crazy over here. Stevie Boy's going crazy. That's it. We rapping, baby.
Playing music.
DJ Mushroom.
DJ Mushroom.
No, but literally, I take mushrooms on the weekends to recalibrate and get creative.
For real?
And then I call it reparenting myself, where I say, okay, Stephanie, no more social media, no more phone, computer off, 9 p.m., hard stop, turn phone off. Oh, and in the morning, that's a huge one. Do not touch your phone or go near any electronic for at least an hour. Listen to birds, look at trees, pet my dog, do real things that calm me down. And then I call it GSD, get shit done for the rest of the day.
Every weekend you do like a small amount of mushrooms then, or
Microdose. Yeah, my mom, the Aquarius woman,
Uh-huh.
she is a registered cannabis nurse with the FDA, so she can grow mushrooms and marijuana to help people with PTSD, epilepsy. So
I got all of those.
Your brother has.
Can your mom? Can I get her number?
oh, she has the best. We have penis envy, we have golden teacher, we have all different strains. It's wonderful for your brain.
Wow.
So
So I've never gotten into that thing. Have you?
gotten into
gotten, like, microdosing?
or gotten into mushrooms? Yeah, one
Well-
time, dude, at summer camp.
Isn't it legal where you are?
No,
it's legal.
not
No,
in
it's not
Washington. It's legal in Colorado now. Who legalized
In
psilocybin?
California.
Portland. No, I think just Portland. I think Oregon's still illegal, but Portland itself somehow.
You guys need a researcher like Joe Rogan has. Somebody Googles it on the side of your show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're working our shit out, but
See, there's always something. There's always something, right?
yeah.
We're never done.
Actually, Steve's eating Cheetos and drinking vodka. We normally
Reading his birth chart.
we normally research from here on the TV that we're looking at you from. So
Okay.
that just won't work on this episode. But so you wake up in the morning. You don't touch an electronic device. Do you sleep with an electronic device in your room, like
No.
near your bed? So it's out of the room. Because I like
Gone.
that. I've been trying to do that.
Off.
Recently.
Gone.
And then at 9 p.m., no electronic devices or no internet.
Ooh, no internet. No electronic devices. Haven't owned a TV in 10 years.
But how do you watch
Dang.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit.
I don't even know what that is. My friends make fun of me. I don't know any movies, any shows, nothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do.
I've heard.
Yeah, because I pour too much energy into my phone all day. It's so funny to be around like my mom or older generations like that because they see me on my phone. They're like, get off that damn thing. You're always on it.
Right.
Like, this is my job. This is legit. Maybe I should get 2 phones, one for work and then one for play. I don't know. I got to come up with a way to set boundaries with that.
Interesting. What if you got one of those, like, if you got a phone, but on the back of the phone, the case was like those old recording signs that would light up in radio stations when you were recording. So
Live on air.
Yeah.
when you were working, you could light up the back and everybody be like, okay, we get it. Now it's cool. Like, she's working. But when it's off, you're like, no, I'm just scrolling mindlessly on the old grams. It's not a
That would
bad
actually
idea.
be a genius idea because even Jordan is kind of he doesn't know if I'm just talking to a friend or if I'm actually posting a
Yeah.
video on social media.
Yeah.
I should do that. Hey, don't talk to me. I'm posting.
How
I'm
do you-
channeling
how do
for
you-
Instagram.
How
That's
do you
right.
how do you even figure out what and how to do what you do when you're posting stuff? Like you seem to kind of be doing it pretty frequently. So do you
Yeah.
have
Oh,
some kind
thank
of
you.
strategy around that? And like, because we suck at that. And
Yeah,
we're
you guys
always,
were posting regularly, and then I noticed you kind of went off the grid around Christmas time. I'm like, well, maybe
well,
they're
because
taking a break.
yeah, that's the thing, because we had something that we were posting about, like we were doing a Christmas show, so we were like, okay,
Right.
cool, like let's promote. It just takes a lot of energy because we're not just like taking videos with our phones. We're like
I have
trying
a
to.
very
Alan's had a-
very dark relationship with social media.
You do? Why? Why?
Oh man,
uses
it's really like it's a love-hate relationship.
Same.
I understand the vessel and the tool and the power that the vessel can have to. I wouldn't have a career if it wasn't for YouTube and Facebook
Exactly.
and like these tech companies who have given us the ability to connect with so many people, and I'm so thrilled day in and day out. But like, I noticed this with my relationships. If I'm not in the same like 10-foot space with somebody, we don't have a relationship. I don't text people that aren't in my vicinity. I don't call people who aren't in my vicinity. Me and my parents will talk every 2 weeks. I'll go, hey, how you going? Well, pretty good. Yeah, what's been going on? We'll talk for 20 minutes, and then it's, and I don't feel disconnected from my family like that. So I don't know if social media is that same way, where it's like, if I got something to sell you and I'm trying to, then you'll be hearing from me a lot. But like, to show you what happened with my like eggs Benedict this morning, I'm not gonna show you that because one, I hate it when you show me that, and I don't know, it's just a real love-hate relationship with the whole
I
process.
know.
And my team and my management and everybody involved with trying to make a lot of people hear my music are like, God, they're throwing their hands up constantly like, God, that's Alan, because I haven't found the niche yet. I haven't found like the pivot point where it's like, okay, this is enough. I can do this thing. I can do the like long form conversations and then the clips from it, right? We can edit out and we can manipulate. But like the, hey guys, just popping on, to, hey guys, just popping on. Hey, I was in my car driving, just popping on. Hey, this is me just popping on. I literally want to shake the phone and like I break it. I want to break it in half. And so I need to, I got some growing to do, Steph. I got some growing to do.
I gotta grow up. Yeah, it's okay. I have that too with social media. I have a very dark relationship with it. I secretly want to give it all up and just be an old lady that lives in a treehouse and writes books, and nobody can talk to me because it's overwhelming to sign on with all these messages. But I think that's the key to selling on social media is think about it. This is where all advertising and marketing is going, is to influencers. Why? Because people trust them. They
right.
build a relationship and they feel like they know them. They feel like this person through their phone is their friend. So if your
Right.
friend is telling you, hey, you should buy this. Yesterday I posted a video. I don't plan all my shit. I just click record when it feels right. So I was just kicking back, eating a bowl of cereal, just talking shit. And I was eating out of a coconut bowl because my bowls are all made out of coconuts. And I have flooded DMs. Where did you buy that coconut bowl? I need that coconut bowl. It's like you didn't listen to the message I was saying.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, you making your own coconut bowls now? What's up?
I guess. Yeah, I'll send them to you guys. Sponsor me.
obnoxious.
Yeah.
Please do. Engrave. Make sure that Jeffrey puts his little paw in the middle. That would be a nice little touch.
Yeah. What do you think about putting kids on social media? Alan, you're a dad.
Me and my wife avoid it as, oh my God, this is dark. So like, I know the social media game thing a little bit. Like I know now, I've done it enough I know what's going to hit and like catch those algorithms, and people are going to go, hey, my God, I'm going to pay attention today. And I've utilized that. And sometimes that has been like my son, because it's like, it's babies or it's my wife or it's these things that I don't want to share. I want to make sacred, but that's what people on the internet want to see. I'm like, dude,
That's right.
check out this fucking riff I've been riffing on for a riffity riff. And nobody cares about that. Nobody cares how high of a note I can hit. All they want to see is like Ricky Lake, my dog. And so
yes, exactly.
I don't know that balance, because there's some people who do it really well that I respect, who have this like seemingly their whole life seems to be out on this weird vessel that we call the internet. But if I dig deep, I notice that they keep quite a few things really sacred.
Yes.
So I avoid it like the plague, unless what
a full circle conversation we just had, though, because in the beginning we were talking about that, like what people are doing now is they love to hear about other people going to therapy and talking about their deepest, darkest secrets, talking about the issues they're having with their husband or their wife. And so when you post pictures of them and talk openly about them, like, hey, I know we look happy on here, but we go through shit. Oh, people love it.
It's so
but you're
humanizing.
right, though, Alan. You've got to have a balance with. Sometimes I feel like, whoa, I just shared way too much. Definitely got me a lot of followers and a lot of likes, but at the end of the day, I want some things to be sacred. So that with season 2 of LL, that's something I'm going to cultivate more. I
just guess you got to build boundaries with what it is that you're putting out into the world, and like you can be forthcoming with your content and like with what you say, and be saying like just popping on to say fucking things about this thing and whatever it is, and you can do that, and you can be transparent, and I think people really do like that. But you have to be intentional about the things that you hold and resist talking about.
I think part of my exploration should be just like post and pop off. Right. So like my thing is like I'm connected very much so to the numbers. I'm connected to the outcome of all the things that I put out into the world. If I have an idea, I want the person I'm sending that idea to go, oh, that's a pretty good question. Like that's my narcissism coming in and taking a hold of it and manipulating it. But I feel like I should be better at, hey, this is what I like and what I enjoy to talk about and learn about and be about, whether it's Stephanie Powers or whether we have a Seattle Seahawks football player on right after you. We love talking sports. Giving that out to the world, because that's what we're creators, and then going bye-bye, and at 9 p.m. going, I'm off this. For me, it should be like 3 p.m. Like I would prefer that. Like 3 p.m. Try not to get a hold of me, because it ain't happening.
I hear you. And I think the weirdest thing is sometimes people do recognize me out and about. I was at a farmer's market once, and I was recognized through Jeff. They always recognize the pug first, and then they're like, wait, you're that girl. Oh, okay. And I forget how much I share, because then they'll say, oh, how's your brother doing? Is your mom still dating that person? And I'm like, whoa, what's your name again? Yeah. How do you know? Whoa.
Yeah, that's got to be trippy. See, that doesn't happen to me. That does not happen to me, because I don't let out that stuff. So that's like...
What about your songs?
Yeah,
Don't you write about your life and your music?
Yeah, but it's not specific. I mean, that's the beauty of music. You can be like super vague. And then... And the beauty of music is I can sing a song and it's 3 minutes long, and whoever listens to it can interpret it however they want. Like I had a song early on when I first started like recording and people started caring about it. It was called Unaware. And it's really about like the government and me feeling completely like invisible by the people who we put in power to hopefully utilize our taxes well.
Right.
Everybody thought it was a love song. They're like, oh man, who broke your heart? I had the situation happen one time. Stephanie Powers is the best thing. So my idiot friends got in a fight at a bar, right? The next day, I was at the bar. I was there. I was not joining in. I was trying to pull people apart. The next day, I'm in a convenience store, and the guy who got beat up and his buddy walk right up to me, and they're like, yo, dude, what's going on, man? Like, and I was like, fuck, dude, this is the guy that, like, my buddy's beat up. Like, it was like a tussle. It wasn't really a beat up. I want to make sure that my friends know that I'm not for that violence. And the guy next to me goes, at the end of it, we calmed it down. I'm like, listen, what happened was fucked up. I want you to know that I don't condone that. I'm sorry it happened. Listen, let me buy you a Mamba. You like a Mamba? Which kind of flavors do you like of that Mamba? The guy comes up after, he goes, bruh, what's your name? I'm like, Al. Yeah, my name's Al. Push, pull, tear, bro. That's my shit. It was like the lyrics from the song, right? But had no idea what the concept of the song is. Very vague. They can like make up their own what it means to them. That's the beauty of music. Whereas like you're sharing deep and intimate portions of your life. I take my hat off to you because the world needs it. The world, like, there's so much healing that is coming out of this medium for people.
Yeah.
But old Veggie Stone over here is just gonna fucking fly, just gonna like skim off the top.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's like a real bravery to it. In your case, Stephanie, you're choosing to walk out on that kind of tightrope and be like, I'm going, like, and although you have people come up to you and say like, hey, like, how's your brother doing? Is your mom still dating? Like you're just like, oh shit, I forgot that I did that. But I can't imagine you're like, you fucking asshole, like, why would you bring that? This is the bed this is the bed you made, and you're being, and there's like something really beautiful about that vulnerability, about trying to like expose yourself and just like peel back the layers and be like, I don't give a fuck because I am good with me. And like, despite how you feel, despite how anybody else feels, it's really where I'm trying to get to in my life and trying to be like as transparent as I can. And I get caught up in it too, because I'm like, what are the boundaries here and how do I navigate this? I'm super scared a lot of times, and then I get all sensitive and I start fucking crying because I'm a little Cancer fucking baby back bitch. And I just like, I don't know, like, I think to Alan, you know, you're able to do all of this stuff too, and to even share your life in a completely different context than you think you need to, and not, you don't have to, but because you are both like these public figures, people want to know that, and there's a reason why people resonate the deepest with the stuff that's transparent and the stuff that's like, oh my God, I liked more about Alan posting a picture of his kid and his wife than I did about him, like, by tenfold than him playing a song, which is what he does. That's people are watching him for. And so it's like, there's that makes sense. That's what people are doing. That's what people want out of us. And I guess it's your choice, but it does come from this like brave place, I feel like.
And like Alan was saying, these people, yes, we're sharing our lives, but they're not watching it like a soap opera. They're taking our situations and applying it to their own life. So people look at me and my divorce and how vulnerable I was when I shared it, and all they're thinking is, that's exactly how I feel in my marriage right now. So they're kind of removing me as a character from it. So I'm a shell for how they're really feeling. And you're right, it does take a lot of bravery to share this stuff, but with all the kind emails and comments I get of people thanking me because it changed their life, it saved their life, it just fans my flame to always do that and show up as that way.
It makes the experience feel worthwhile for you, I'm sure, because when you get that kind of response and you feel like you're actually affecting people, that's really what the work is about, right? Like you don't get work from like the numbers that you're getting from like, oh my God, look at that podcast just had like 50,000 downloads. It's like you get 17 people that reach out to you and say, hey, like you really changed my life in a certain way. And that's where your self-esteem is going to come from, way beyond the numbers that you get from the downloads, I assume.
Exactly. Yes. I get asked every day, how did you grow as fast as you do? How do you get the downloads that you do? And I say, this is something I would do if I didn't get paid. This is something I would do if my mom was my only listener. I love it with all my heart. And I think that's the secret sauce into attracting a lot of people, is they can feel that you genuinely love it.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was about to ask you how much of it is therapy for you specifically, because singing to me, there's, I grew up in the church, my folks were singers, and so when I sing like as loud and as in a microphone, like there's therapy in my body literally like happening in that moment, and I would do it regardless of whether or not I could make a living doing it. I'd probably do it less, but I would still do it. How much of it for you is just personal therapy, and how much of it is intentionally therapy for other people? And do you make that decision in real time?
No, I think it's all for me. And like all the guests I have on the show are people that I would reach out to just to say, hey, can I ask you a few questions? Anyway, it's all people that I would do on my own by myself. None of this is staged. Again, it's just me over here. I'm just living life and having fun with it. And people are along for the ride. I felt so like alone in my spirituality, like seeing 11:11 all the time. I was like, I'm just crazy. I see a hawk all the time, a deer walks in front of my car, and I feel a type of way about it. I was like, no, I'm just crazy. So then when I started to release that and say, I see repeating numbers all the time. 222, 333. That's when a wave of people are like, me too. Let's talk about it. That's why it's called Lightworkers Lounge, because I wanted it to be like a water cooler. Like, we're all humans living this human life that's really fucking hard right now. And sometimes we just want to meet up at the water cooler and talk about spiritual things, aliens, or reading numbers. So let's go chill at the lounge.
Oh, it's so cool, man. That's awesome. How, for guests for your podcast now, are you guys traveling to them? Are they, you're mobile, or is it pretty much satellite, kind of like your?
It's all sad, especially with COVID too. It's all just through Zoom right now. But the goal is to have an actual big building. Baby J he's into construction, so
Baby
it worked out well there.
Handyman.
But we want to build, an actual lounge where I have a recording studio just like yours with guests that come see us. And there's astrology on one side. Jeffrey gets his own room, like a museum where people can come pet him.
Yeah, I want to come pet him.
I want to give him some snuggles.
Some snuggles.
I like a little pug snuggle. Stephanie, I am so thrilled to meet you, and I have really enjoyed this conversation. I can't thank you enough for just giving us your time and giving us your presence, and this has been super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah! Drop the mic. If that mic could be dropped, it should be.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's nice. Yeah, it's really cool. I think we're as we attempt to move forward with this podcast, we're really trying to find our lane with what we're doing too, because we didn't plan on this when we started. We just had an idea, and then it was like, all right, Alan's basically just trying to convince me to stay in town because I live in New York, and he's just like, bro, listen here, we're gonna do something. And then we just started, and it's been so cool to just get to know new people and to discuss all walks of life, different ideas, people with different intentions and different thought processes. And
look at the king of podcasting, Joe Rogan. Just do what he does. He people, it's crazy. His podcast episodes are 5 hours long sometimes, and he's got these 2-minute pauses, and he keeps them in there. And he's the king. He's number one of all of it. And I think it's because when people listen to him, it sounds like our conversation. It feels like they're chilling at a coffee shop with us.
Yeah,
or they're at the bar.
I have one more question. Actually, Julian and I were talking about this because you are seemingly deep into the podcast world. You interview. You're an incredible speaker. You're articulate like a mofo. How much? So when I meet a new person, the joy of the conversation is learning about them, and so I noticed that when I do a ton of research about somebody I'm about to talk about, if I go and look at their Wikipedia page, I'm not as genuinely curious about meeting them for the first time, and I feel like the conversation is a little bit more manufactured. Do you has that ever occurred to you ever in your work?
Never. And you know what? I blow people's minds because I don't have itineraries. I just reach out to people and say, hey, I have the show. Here it is. You want to come on? And it's nothing formal at all. And I don't do any research on my guests.
Yeah, see,
yeah, I
that's
feel
cool.
like it can be.
Do you do that intentionally? Do you not do research on people intentionally, or is it just because you are a badass and you?
Since I was born, I just know no strangers. I think we're all humans. We all have the same color blood. We all poop. We all cry. We all are the same. And so I just want to have a real conversation. I don't even talk about what they do for work or what they're known for. I just want to know what keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
What wakes you up in the morning? What's your deepest fear? Yes.
Mine is Cheetos and vodka. That's my deepest fear combined together.
Have you guys ever done an Instagram Q&A? I'm looking at you now, and if you were doing an Instagram live where just somebody on your production team set up your phone, wherever I am on the TV, and then you just record this live, and then that engages your audience on Instagram to watch this. They'll feel like they're a part of your production crew and get a behind the scenes look.
Yeah, we should.
Steph, we need weekly check-ins with you.
Yeah, if you could just be our life coach from here on out.
We need more
We can't
talks.
pay you. We cannot pay you. I haven't paid anybody here once.
You guys should get the card game. If you want to really engage guests, get the card game. We're Not Really Strangers. Have you heard of it?
Talk about that. I heard you talk about it on one of your episodes.
You've got to get it. And then just say, okay, here's how we start the show. Pull one of those cards. And they're these in-depth, soulful questions that make people Whoa, okay. No one's ever asked me that before, but okay.
But that also,
We're not really strangers. We're gonna do it. We're gonna bring it on. We're gonna have
But that
our
all-
own
but-
little. We're
but-
not
but-
really strangers
Hold on.
podcast.
But doesn't that also
You
kind of
should.
manufacture stuff? Like I just want this
No.
thing to always. I don't want to like disservice ourselves by having any type of kind of approach to doing these conversations. Like, hey, like we don't really know how to talk right now, so we're just gonna pull up these cards to like give us these ideas.
No, I found that too. I always told myself, like, okay, season 2, I'm gonna pull out the cards and just ask them. But then, like you guys, it just happens so organically, and sometimes we don't get to the cards. So it's just like, hey, have you ever heard of this game?
Yeah.
Look, I just pulled the cards for you guys.
What can you read it to us? Julian will answer it.
What can I be kinder towards myself for today?
Ugh, geez.
Alan, your facial expressions are priceless.
Fuck. It's like I don't want to make it general. I want to make it something more specific. My body, myself, my image.
That's a big one.
Yeah, just my image.
That's a good one.
That's it's pretty simple, but yeah,
There you
I'm
go.
so vain. I'm an actor, and I'm just fucking vain. I notice myself looking in the mirror more than I need to be. Not because I'm like, oh, you look fucking good. Like, I might bleach my hair because we're doing a movie. This is why I look like such an asshole right now.
You look great.
And so, I look and I just like see, and I just fucking judge the shit out of every single part of myself all the time. And it's never enough. Never.
Right. Well,
okay.
you're judging yourself because you want other people to think you look good. But if you're only attracting people because they think you look good, what kind of people are that?
Yeah, totally. And also like in comparing myself to anything, which kind of goes hand in hand. I want to be kinder when I do it to myself and not have to judge myself for doing it, because it's kind of part of my experience as it is. It's gonna kind of bleed in to my day once in a while, and I don't want to have to overanalyze every single thing that I do to make myself feel guilty about that because it just is a natural part of who I am. And so I'd say be kinder to myself about just like judging myself overall.
Good.
Because
I
it's
love
gonna
that.
happen, and it's going to happen, and I just want to be like okay with it and be like, this is normal, dude. Just relax.
Yes. That's a really good one. Alan, your turn.
What can I be kinder about myself today? Me and Julian have been talking quite a bit because I've just had this really overwhelming sense the last 2 weeks of I'm just angry, and I don't know where it's coming from. I noticed that, like, I'm usually a relatively patient person. Not a lot of things throw me off. I'm not too swayed by other people's energy. I can feel it and interpret it, but I don't take it on. But the last couple of weeks, I've just noticed being mad. Like everything's kind of like setting me off, and I've given up the drink. I've been indulging in the COVID cocktail too frequently over the last few months, and so I'm gonna let that go for a minute and see how that clears my temperament. But I think I've noticed like I don't do well at allowing myself to be happy with myself. I'm very happy in the moment, like when I'm creating, when I'm present, I'm very happy, and I notice that. But it's when I'm thinking about like my perception of myself, I don't allow myself to be happy. Like it's never, regardless of an achievement, regardless of how well I put something together or I create or how well I make somebody else feel, there's always this portion of me that's not allowing myself to be happy about it. And I don't know if that's like, I don't know where that comes from, if that's a perfectionism, if that's like, because a part of me appreciates that, because I think that's evolution, that's progress, that's striving towards making things better than they were before. But I don't think you have to hate what you did before to make what you do next better. And like, I can't listen to old music. Like it's like my son, every morning he'll come downstairs. Hey, he does this and he goes, Dad. And this means like turn on Dad's music in the morning.
Oh.
And it's kind of sad, but it like takes every inch of me. Like, I'm just doing this because you're the cutest damn thing that's ever walked upright. But I don't want to do this. I don't want to turn on my own music and have to listen to every single thing I don't like about the tracks and every single harmony that I should have been, you know.
Wow.
And so I'd like to get better at that. I'd like to like get better at being kinder to who I've been so that who I become can do the same.
Oh, I resonate with that, Alan. I can't listen to my podcast. I can't. Jordan always wants to play it in the car, and I'm like, no. Like, I mispronounced that. I'm stuttering. Nope, turn it off. I can't. So I wonder what that is in us. I think maybe it's because you and I just kind of channel. We really pour energy into our work, and who we were then is not who we are now. So it's like, wait, I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah, and
I want to hear that.
Part of me wonders too. I think about like just the element of recording. It's only been around for maybe 150 years. And prior to that, it was like edited books, right? People could like summarize their experience and eloquently put it down in words. And however they put it down was the recorded history of it. Whereas now, the digital world and the digital space is like everything is what it is. That's the reality of it. And regardless of how you see it, it's just recorded in this capacity. And for me, when I like posing for photo shoots, I'm like, this is the fucking dumbest thing that's ever happened. Like, how do you want me to look like I'm supposed to look? Like, don't tell me you're taking the picture and you'll get a good picture.
Take it.
Like, just take it. I'm not gonna look this way. I'm like, what are we doing here? This is so absurd. If aliens exist, that's what I'm gonna start talking about. If they saw me do that, they'd be like, there ain't nothing good on this planet. This is weird. I'm out.
Done.
This is weird. And
Fuck
so
their TikToks.
exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
Like that kind of just the audacity it takes to think that you deserve the space to be immortalized digitally for the rest of time, to me is like, that's so like selfish and absurd. Like, so it's kind of, I think it's this weird ball that I ball up that's like, this is so ridiculous. Everything I do is ridiculous. But I enjoy it and I love it and people seem to enjoy it and I get my identity's found in it. I find pride. I find joy. I love the execution of it. I love to sing. It's a blast for me. But like immortalizing it so that I can make a living off of it. That's like, hey, I don't want to see, I don't want to see that again. I don't want to look at my poop after I stand up.
You're such a natural in your music videos, though.
Well,
Kudos
thanks.
to that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I work really, really hard at looking like I don't work really hard.
Our jobs are so tough. I feel that though. I actually just before I started season 2 of Lightworkers Lounge, I went through and I went on a massive delete because I was like, "Oh, that's not who I am," and don't feel that way about spirituality anymore. And it's so scary to imagine that even the things I post on Instagram. Someone said to me as a guest on the show the other day, like, "Are you worried about what you used to say 5 years ago when you were happily married?" I was like, "Oh shit, those posts still are up."
Yep.
Yeah, but isn't all that stuff like indicative of who you are anyways? Like, doesn't that still tell the story?
Yeah, well, we were talking about how cancel culture and how maybe if some time in the past I said something that was inappropriate or maybe slightly racist, or I don't think there is, but who knows with how big people,
well, it's also
scary.
It's also not necessarily about your intention. It's about the perception of the people reading it. Like anything you do. So you're like, oh man, I'm putting all this stuff up into the world and like, it really doesn't matter my intention behind it because you can't read intention from a screen or from a clip. It's so much about the interpreter. I cut you off. So somebody was asking you about this and you were going back and deleting stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to delete things because I felt like that wasn't who I was anymore. Is that how you feel with some of your songs that you wrote? Like, that's not how I feel.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Can I get rid of it? Yeah, but it's vague enough. I mean, that's like I said, that's the joy of the little shell that I live under is that like I can I can write a song that sounds like a love song, which is actually about something, which is about Social Security. I could literally, I could do it right now, and so that's kind of a wonderful umbrella and
Protective shield.
What
was
I
it
live under.
like? I gotta know. What was it like working with Macklemore? I saw him at the Grand Ole Opry, and yeah, I cried a lot during that show.
Yeah, he's a legend of a human. He's
Yes.
brilliant. He's kind. He's fun. He's like a fun person to be around.
His show, see, he has that factor too, where you feel, even during his shows with thousands of people watching him, you feel like he's performing just for you, like he's connecting with you on that level. It was so good, and I love your song with him.
Yeah, thanks, man. It
I
was
like that song,
It was
too.
interesting to do because I was not sober at the time. So
Wow.
he was like going through this period of his life, which was he was sober, and sobriety had brought this really awakening place to him, and I was like drinking like it was going out of style. I was in my like early 20s, just like whatever anybody would give me.
Did you know Pisces are very susceptible to drugs and alcohol?
Well, that makes sense. No, just
Very. Because you guys feel uncomfortable in this world. You guys are the oldest in the zodiac. You've lived every life as every other sign, and you're like, you know what? I'm done. You're like the senior in high school who's just like, fuck this. I did my dues. I'm out. So you guys escape through
Wow.
drugs and alcohol.
Well,
Yeah.
luckily I went to alternative school, and I was huff and glue. No, it was just amazing, and like to be sort of around when that thing happened to him, because we recorded that song in a closet on Highway 99 in Seattle, Washington, which if you know anything about Seattle, like Highway 99 is the it was gross, right? There was tiny, and to see what he and Ryan Lewis did from nothing, like just the two of them and their manager Zach and this little team that they had around them. That was the most inspiring thing to me, was like, oh, because forever I was waiting for somebody to like walk through the door and be like, I'm Clive Davis and I'm going to give you all the things you've ever wished for. You don't need to work anymore, kid. We're going to get, that was sort of my perception of the entertainment world, and to be in the universe and the orbit of somebody who was like, no, fuck all that. I'm going to do it myself. I have a distribution center now that nobody in the history of mankind has ever had, and I can connect without you to an audience base. That was so inspiring, and still like actually the basis of everything I do now. We do a Live at the Lodge show, which is it's a podcast form live show where we do music. We do this podcast. We've been shooting videos and music videos together, and I'm doing my best to try and do everything myself. All the production side is me. All of the video editing is me. All of from the album artwork to like everything top to bottom, because I want to do it myself. And I got that inspiration from Macklemore and Ryan. They really opened up the door of opportunity wide as fuck, and we're like, hey, you don't need a label, you don't need a show on NBC. Although if they offered me, yo, NBC, what's up,
What's good?
I got some time. No, that was the most inspiring part about it, was to see them go from playing shows in front of 500 people. That was when I did the song with them. They were playing at the Crocodile in Seattle, Washington. It was a 500 cap room, and then they came out with Thrift Shop, and it was like
What?
boing! It blew up, but they shot that video for like $4,000 on a Canon 5D.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like, dude,
That was a Canon 5D. Are you serious?
yeah, like a guy just holding it, like, hey, let's do this, and it's like
With
tripod.
the stabilizer.
No, I
and
don't
they
even think it was
literally
just-
went to Goodwill.
Yeah, he just like did it himself. It was we're gonna figure this out and we're gonna do it, and I was just so inspired by that. And that was the coolest thing to be about. Not only to be on the record, and the record did so good, it was nominated for so many Grammys, but I never got invited to the Grammys, which is like, I gotta talk to Ben about that. What's going on, dude? That was the coolest thing I've said it 9 times already now, but to see somebody do it themselves, and to
How did you guys get connected? How did that happen? Are you guys friends?
we were both in the Seattle scene, so we were both kind of making our name in the Seattle scene. And he reached out to me on Twitter. I think like this was.
So it's synchronicity.
Yeah,
go.
it was whatever it was. It was super cool to get to work with him and Ryan.
Speaking of synchronicity and all of this, I had 2 friends, including Baby J, send me your songs, like different songs of yours. Definitely was Consider Me was a huge one. The day before you posted me on your stories.
Oh,
And
no
I
way.
didn't make the connection that was you until I shared it on my stories, and people were like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Oh yeah, you just sent me his music yesterday. It was meant to be."
That happens a lot
Interesting.
with specifically like the online space. I'll come across somebody that I'm just amply stoked about, and then sure, like a week later, we bump into each other in the Philadelphia airport, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude,
I just shared you on my story.
I'm listening to you right now. This is crazy."
Yeah.
It's kind of
That actually happened to me on a flight. I was sitting next to someone and we just started talking, and they were listening to my podcast.
Oh, that's
And they freaked out and were like, "Holy
So bizarre.
shit."
Wow.
And so we just took our headphones off and talked the whole 2-hour flight. And it was
Like,
really
let me do this for you here. Just pull the headphones out. Let me talk to you. Listen to my soothing ass voice. Here we go.
on today's
Step
episode
one.
of the Lightworkers Lounge.
Yeah,
Tell me
seriously.
when it all went wrong in your childhood.
You got one of those carry-on like old medieval bugle horn things that you used to talk through.
Stephanie, I want to thank you so much because you have gotten us to open up in a new kind of way that we haven't really been able to,
Yeah.
especially with a guest. When we have each other and we're talking here, it's mostly just like us shooting the shit and being morons with each other. But your aura, although digital and in the virtual space right now, is kind of coming through, and your questions and your character and just like everything that you kind of represent has been really awesome for us to experience, and it's allowed us to kind of have a different conversation
Good.
that I always hope that we can have, and so thank you for
Yeah,
doing
thank
that
you,
for us.
Stephanie.
That
This
was
We're all
so
just
cool.
walking each other home.
Ah,
That's
that's
cool.
cool, man.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
thank you guys for having me. This was awesome. When I'm in that area up in the motorhome, I'm gonna come find you with Cheetos.
Please do. We have this property that we're at. is-
Crunchy or puffs?
Yeah. What do you?
Puffs.
Puff for
Puffs.
show.
Duh.
All the way.
Hell yeah.
We will throw a puff party for you and Baby J and Jeffrey out
Puff
here at the
party.
lodge. Yes,
Yes,
please
let's
come.
do it. And
Because
let's
we got to work
record
on
a
the
hip-hop track.
we got to work on the tune together. Don't let Baby J listen to
real.
this podcast, okay? Because we're gonna make him surprise.
I don't know.
Baby J tune.
He's gonna geek out and listen to it as soon as it comes out.
Well, Baby J, we love you. Baby J.
Baby J.
Stephanie Powers, we love you. Folks can find you online. Will you give them all the deets about the online situation?
That's right. If you guys would like to tune into my podcast, Lightworkers Lounge, just Google it. We're everywhere, but we're on Instagram at Lightworkers Lounge and my personal account at Stephanies_Destiny. Come follow me along as I just live out my life according to my destiny.
Thank you so much, Stephanie.
That's
we appreciate you.
Thank you
thanks for being here.
guys.
I'm scheduling a one-on-one. If
You
it's okay with
should.
you.
I'll give you
Well,
a discount code. I'll text it to you.
I don't even want a discount. I want to pay you the full price.
Full price,
Oh.
Steph.
Full price.
Well,
Kids
going in.
paying full
Yeah.
price.
We're rich now. We got a podcast. Don't you know what podcasters
Yeah.
make? We're huge stars.
Oh,
so-
I'm a multimillionaire. That's why I
Yeah.
live in a mobile home.
Duh. Thanks, Steph. You're awesome.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
Bye,
much,
guys.
Stephanie. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, boo-boo, did you just make it to the end of the video? Yes, you did. Do you want to see more videos just like this one? Do you?
Well, then head over to patreon.com/live at the lodge, where you can support the How Good's This podcast, as well as the entire Live at the Lodge family.
Yep, yeah, you're going to get exclusive merch, personalized shout-out videos. Me and Jules, we're going to show up at your house and baptize your nephew, huh? Check it out, patreon.com/live at the lodge.